Hi, and you are very welcome to part one of this excerpt on my program on no limit goal setting. So today I am going to look at a very common obstacle that people come up against when they are setting goals for themselves, and that is thinking patterns and beliefs that stop us from taking action. So firstly, I want to look just a little bit at how the brain works in this area, and this process is called neuroconditioning. So the brain is the ultimate supercomputer. It is receiving so many millions of pieces of information on a daily basis, and if we were to stop and have to process every single piece of information that comes our way, we'd never get anything done and we would be exhausted. So in order to work efficiently and to speed up this process, the brain builds a series of pathways called neural pathways that help us by bypassing the seeing, assessing, and making decisions process. So it goes straight to, I've made a decision on this straight away. And in terms of efficiency and speed, it works really, really well. And essentially, I suppose what the brain is doing, it's installing programs and apps that are running in our subconscious mind, and often we're not aware of it. So what happens when you set a goal for yourself that is in contradiction with one of these apps or programs, these beliefs that you have in your subconscious mind? Well, it becomes a battle of wills. And this is where the word willpower starts to come into it. And people often believe that I have no willpower. Anytime I try to do something, I just can't stick with it. That's not the case. There's no real such thing as willpower. You either have beliefs and programs working in the back of your mind that support your goal, or you have beliefs and programs in the back of your mind that are going to pull against you. So it's the ultimate tug of war. Okay. And I'm going to give an example of an area where you might see this happening. So say I decide I want to go back to education. I'd like to upskill and I'd learn something new. So I start looking for courses. Now, my experience when I was younger was I wasn't actually particularly good at school. In fact, I found it a bit of a struggle. I struggled with homework, I struggled with getting projects finished on time, and I struggled with exams. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I'm really all that bright. So really, is it not a bit insane to be thinking about spending all this money and going back to education? Because you know what? You're probably going to struggle with it. The reality is that maybe I struggled in school because I wasn't particularly interested, but now I'm a grown-up and I get to pick something that's exciting and interesting to me. So I'm going to be an awful lot more receptive to that information. But the brain has this belief in there that, you know what, you're no good when it comes to academia. So let's just put a system in place here which prevents you from putting yourself in harm's way. So what we do is we start to find excuses for why we can't do something. Oh, you know what? I'm actually really busy at the moment. I just don't have the time for it. Oh, that's a bit expensive. I don't think I can afford that. I've got an awful lot on my plate at the moment. You know what? Maybe I'll leave it. Maybe later. Maybe later. So when it comes to willpower, it's not that we don't want to do it. It's that there's something in the back of our mind that's actually preventing us from moving forward. Now, I am talking about this in the negative, in the terms of negative beliefs that we have that are preventing us from moving forward. But we can also use this process to our advantage. But first, we need to have a look at what apps and programs are running in the back of our mind in the first place. And maybe we need to uninstall some of them and install some new supportive beliefs that are going to help us move forward. And the way we do that is through active thinking to start, because you can't change something if you don't know what's going on in the first place. So what I mean is you need to start becoming more aware of the thoughts that you are having on a regular basis. get a notebook, write them down. I think you would be quite surprised at how quickly we default into a negative thinking pattern. And the more we think negatively, the more we bring up feelings of inability and a lack of worth. And this then directly prevents us from taking the action that we need to in order to move forward with our goals. So take a little bit of time with this. You're going to need to take some quiet time. You know, we're all on the hamster wheel running around and life is busy. So this is where stillness really comes into play. A little bit of time to be alone with your thoughts, and also start to become aware of the kind of language that you're using on a regular basis. I can't, I'm not particularly good at, oh, I wouldn't be able for that. Listen to yourself. You would be amazed, honestly, how we tend to tear ourselves down more regularly than we do build ourselves up. But in order to create a really solid support network before going forward and setting goals, we need to do this first. This is the key. So invest a little bit of time in it, your active thinking and listening to the kind of language that you're using on a regular basis. Get yourself ready. In the next video, I am going to be looking at fears and how we can get out of our comfort zone, and a few little tips that are going to help you with that. So if you're interested, keep a watch out for the next video. It should be up soon. Thank you.